Hello, storytellers. It's Storytelling Ron. This is just like a news thing. I'm going to go through what I'm doing for the Lord RPG. So I'm just going off the top of my head, like I do in all my videos. Um, so I'm going to the NRB in Florida, Orlando in May. The NRB, National Religious Broadcasters, I think, convention. I only just learned of it a few months ago, myself. I've got a booth. Here, I'll show you real quick the video. Let me switch over to this little screen here. Is so small. So this is the website nrbconvention.org, or I think it's nrb.org, but then it goes to this if you click on the convention. It's been around quite a while, but it's about trying to get entertainment and digital broadcast, TV channels, movies, and then also technology for it. And I've got a booth there. I'm doing I'm actually going to be next to Alliance Defending Freedom in my booth. Wow. Pretty. I better I used to give them money. I haven't given them money in a while. I've been trying to focus on where I give money. But I used to give money to them. But I don't now. But anyway, but it's cool. I mean, kind of neat that I'm booth next to them. Orlando. We're going to the Orlando. I persuaded my wife that this is our. So we've been married 27 years and raised two girls, and this is kind of our first vacation ever. Like literally. I mean, we've gone to England because she's English, and so we've gone our family, but that is not a vacation. And then when we go, it's really neat how her family tells us all the wonderful vacations they've gone on in the last year, or last couple of years that we haven't seen. So, anyway, so we're going to this. In 27 years, we've never gone anywhere, exotic or whatever. I mean, I don't really care, but I'm just saying. So yeah, I mean, I put a lot of money into this, so just so you all know, when I'm saying, hey, join my membership or support for the Lord RPG, I'm already put in over 10,000 into this. I think, different various things I've been doing, especially this, because I'm just compelled. I'm compelled. I believe in this. I believe, I'm trying to figure all this out. And I'm assuming, statistically speaking, I'm going to get a no, right? From the places that I go there and pitch to. Right? That's just the statistic. But I'm going to do it because I need the Christian community to know what's going on. I don't care if I'm the one. I just need them to know about the role-playing game culture and how huge it is in the trans community and the LGBT community and the pagan community, all the entire scope of pagan community. They're using RPGs as a gateway drug. And again, I'm not against the RPGs. I'm not. I really love role-playing games. But pagans have taken all of that as their own. So any sort of Christianity that's peppered throughout these games is sort of mocked or put aside or, taken for granted, whatever. And I'm trying to say we need to bring that to the forefront again. And it took me a while, and it took me a while to figure it out. And I don't like to say I did it, I don't feel like I did it. I feel like, but I don't want to say, hey, God made me do this, or the Holy Spirit made me do it. I don't want to do that because maybe not. I don't want to be that sure. I did not get a voice in my head saying, Ron, I need you to make a role-playing game. None of that. So I'm not going to tell you, hey, the Lord told me to do this. And I know, I've heard that a few too many times by Christians who didn't really, yeah. Okay. So, but anyway, I feel like we need this. We need an evangelist tool in the role-playing game culture. It's huge. The role-playing game RPG culture. Okay. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to be wearing this. You can see it's on my website here. I do on my website, the Black Knight page. I kind of show off my little cool armor, and I go to like the Ren fairs and take pictures, with people. And here's my pagan buddies, I guess. That they must. I wonder if they have like a goth nightclub up in Idlewild. But so I'll be wearing this armor going around. I'll probably sans the cod piece. but I'll be going around the NRB with that. I'm also doing, let me get back just to regular cam. I'm also doing the Great Homeschool Convention here in Southern California for the homeschool. So just to see if any moms need a role-playing game for their kids that is not Dungeons and Dragons. And I will be releasing very shortly the Apostles of the Apocalypse on the members only area, the $40 annual membership, and all you Kickstarters will be, I'll make sure I get all of you in there. I'm going to be releasing the Apostles of the Apocalypse, the full game there, lots of assets. I've drawn a ton of goofy little, Road Warrior looking stuff for it, and mutants. And the fun thing about the Apostles of the Apocalypse is that it's, there's a little more freedom in creating mutant creatures and stuff. Like you can go crazy, actually not a little more, complete freedom to create all kinds of radioactive, creatures that they can encounter as they go evangelize and plant churches. And I'm creating a really fun, I think, neat little hex crawl where you go from hex to hex, searching the devastated wastelands. That should culminate into finding a metropolitan mega sprawl ruins area, which is sort of where the GM then can start creating the climactic finale for this series, whatever, for a long campaign or whatever. And I'm going to figure out how to, sorry, I'm stretching in the middle of this video. I'm going to figure out how to do that as well. Like have like a page or two where you can kind of create an empire that they got to now encounter. So I haven't added that in yet. I'm trying to get all that focus on that while I'm preparing for the NRB, because the NRB is coming up, and I gotta do the hotel stuff and the reservations for dinners and all that for the wife, and so it's kind of fun, but I don't know if my brain can do that many things at once. So yeah, the Apostles of the Apocalypse, I'm pretty excited. I got also you plant churches, and then when you plant churches, those become support, like a support network that you have to keep an eye on, and the GM will roll once in a while and see if they get attacked, and that's kind of fun. And then if you have successful churches, they can give you things in return to help you continue the mission work. And Christians in Space, we just did a pretty long little play test, and we ended it the other night, sadly, but we all needed to end it because I needed to start focusing on the work that I'm doing and then going to the convention, and I got my daughter's wedding. So we stopped playtesting, but boy, it was great. And I really love a lot of it. Oh, I do want to mention, I really appreciate Dave and Markel for playtesting, and then the other people that joined in on the episodes. And I will be posting some of these playtesting, the Apostles of the Apocalypse playtest and the Christians in Space playtest. I will be posting them on the members only area. So if you want to watch those, there'll be links in there. They'll be on YouTube unlisted, but I'm going to only post those links in the members only area on storytellingroom.com because they're playtesting and kind of goofy. One issue that I really appreciate David mentioning, and he really loved the setting and the game, and he really thinks it's great. But the one issue that he has that I'm certainly, my mind is on, is how the combat is a little crunchy. You got to hit with the die rank bonus if you upgrade. So you got a to hit roll, and then you got a damage roll, and the damage is so limited. It's only the die roll. I never allow like the strength bonus or the dexterity bonus to adjust the die roll. And then you got an armor, and then the opponent has an armor save. So it becomes so as he was saying, it becomes sort of averaged out in a sense. Like, you're just going to get high here but low here, and they're going to get high, or you're going to get so it averages out like a bell curve, like a small bell curve as far as when you have successes. And also because of those 3 rolls for each turn, it tends to slow the combat down a little bit. So you can't wipe out a bunch of minions and move on in a matter of a few minutes. And I agree with him. I definitely agree, but I think I'm going to keep the first edition the way it is, but boy, is it on my mind. Like, can I maybe make the armor save just a static number as opposed to a roll? But I do feel like, when they roll and they hit and then they do their damage and then I roll a high armor save, it's like they're all excited and then, So there is a little bit of that going on, but I feel like it's a roller coaster of 3 emotions: to hit, damage and armor save. And I kind of like it. I mean, I like it, but it can be a bummer, but it can also be exciting. Also, one thing that alleviates that is that there's the vitality or vigor of the characters, the hit points is lower, on average, so combat should go relatively quickly. And then there's grievous wounds, that can be applied. And then I am planning on making some changes in Apocalypse of the Apocalypse, so it's a little more brutal, a little more but yeah, at this point you cannot have a bunch of minions and stuff. I might make it so that the minions, don't have that much of an armor save, or that their armor save is more static, and they don't get any extra armor saves, because armor saves will also reduce the damage, but it could also negate like critical, grievous wounds. My dog's barking out there. Sorry, he's barking. I'm trying to see what he's barking at. I'm gonna go check, but we're talking about critical wound, armor save, reducing stuff. Yeah, I'll be right. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I had to go outside. He was just barking at a German Shepherd out there. Okay, so armor saves. So minions, there's a lot of benefits to armor saves that can reduce, the different weapon effects or criticals, and then we could just take that out for minions. That's sort of an option. I think I'm going to put a little list together of ways of, say, reducing the crunchiness. The roll after roll or roll after roll for having minions and making the game go a little faster, the combat. But I still like the way it is, but we'll, second edition could reduce that down a little, but I really do look at these rolls based on my own experience in the list, fighting and how it feels to me. It does feel like a bell curve to me, in the list. There does feel like the law of averages when we fight, even with experienced people. There are some fighters who go to the end of that bell curve, to the top fighters, but they spend so much time training, and dedicating week after week, flying to each other and getting together. And I'm like, and I can beat them once in a while and hold my own, especially one-on-one. Team-wise, they're going to beat us every time, kind of thing, because we don't have a consistent team as they do. And I find when new people come along, they challenge me just fine. It's not, I've got the, more tricks up my sleeve, and more reaction time and blah, blah, blah. But there's times where they can, they'll hold their own. And so that's kind of what I find. There's definitely a bell curve in the list, and the ones that succeed a lot are the ones that spend all, no, thank you. I got a couch to lay on. So I'm going to keep it for now, and let me know if you guys have any thoughts on it. Feel free to just on the Discord or email or on my YouTube. Let me know just any sort of experiences you have with the combat system. But I'm going to keep it the way it is. It's a little crunchy, roll, but I'm going to keep it as. Okay, for now. We did have a lot of fun though. That's for sure. We certainly had a lot of fun playing it. The Christians of Space, the Apostles of the Apocalypse one. In the Apostles of the Apocalypse series, when the ladies, started realizing how the guns work, they went crazy with it, and it was fun. It was fun using the auto part of it, because in the auto you fire and you get your awareness, and then if you've trained, your upgrade to fire to hit, and then if it's got auto on it, like you get a 2 or 3 additional shots that are just a basic roll, and you roll it, and those have turned out pretty good, to help them, blast away at something, because they're just going kind of thing, and that's a lot of fun, that they can get their guns to really work, and so thusly that seems like the combat goes pretty quick. Now with that, there's a chance of you need to reload, a higher chance of that, and then also fumbles. There's a higher chance of fumbling as well, and so. Yeah, but it's still fun. Goes, I think, anyways, I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited to bring out for you guys to see the weapons and the guns and the auto thing. Also for kids, I'm going to, hopefully I'll do that today. and I'll probably put that as a free thing. Do like a sort of a cheat sheet for kids, so you guys can show them this, and they can put their character together, as opposed to the full list, the full game list, and maybe some simple rules like they only have to roll 12 to hit something, whatever it is, and then they roll their damage, and then they don't have to worry about weapon styles or any of the extra little features of the weapons, until they, and then that's something you can slowly introduce to them each time that they play, because those weapon styles are optional. Even the bleed, even the like if you hit a roll a certain number, they start bleeding. If you you probably want to give them the crushing one where it's a 19-20 for critical. But any of the others, bleed, pull for the axe because you can pull a shield down, and what else is there? Stun. Any of those sort of ones where they have an extra thing like that, I don't recommend you using it until you introduce it to them or they ask about it, because that's true in real life. Like even if a sword has a bleed, the sword has a bleed 6, I think. So if we roll a 6 on damage, then they have a bleed. They take 1 per turn, which is a lot in this game of bleeding. I might even bring that down to a 4 because I just got a new Colina knife and I sliced a slither. Whew, just, man, I was bleeding like crazy. That's, that was not a bleed 6. That's like I had rolled a D4 because I was like, no, but whatever. And the amount that was bleeding probably would not affect me in a combat anyway. It was a lot, but it wasn't like gushing or anything. But that was interesting that I got this. But anyway, you don't have to introduce any of those, and I wouldn't recommend it even for regular players until they start asking, or you introduce it at some point where you feel like they've been using the weapon enough. Because when you're using a weapon, you don't know about these things, these sort of features like the axe pull, until you get better anyway, until you're more experienced as a fighter, or if you train or whatever. So there's that. So yeah, definitely keep those out until you feel like they can use them. And I wouldn't even use them for most of the villains either, unless it was an experienced villain, like a boss, and then starts using some of those. So you could ignore those for sure until you feel like bringing them in. All the different weapon styles. What else? So I'll be getting the kid thing out hopefully today, or I'll be working on it today. Yeah, so I'm just going off on what I'm doing. The Christians in Space one is kind of done too. I just want to clean it up, and I want to build out the galaxy a little more. Have definitely more. I have like 5 or 6 planet options right now, but I want to do more than that, obviously. And I put stuff into it, like battle maps, options. I put some sort of land, artwork in there. I'm using Space Engine on Steam to take sort of images of the planets and their surfaces, and then kind of adjusting them accordingly. But that's kind of interesting and neat to do that, to look at that, the Space Engine, where you can see all the actual solar system and beyond. But I just try to focus on the solar system. So that's pretty neat. And I bought the commercial version so that I can, use the images in the game. So I'm not going to be doing much. Yeah, I'm done with all the play testing at this point, and I don't have any actual role playing games right now, and I definitely should not schedule any until June because of all the things that are going on. And who knows what will be happening to that. So when I go to cap this video off, when I go to the NRB, I'm going to be pitching the show, the role playing game show, the For the Lord RPG show series. To anyone that will listen. I don't care who it is, I'm going to pitch it. And I've learned that in life now, and I'm hoping you too, as a Christian, will know that you just need to go out there and not worry about what people think of you. One really neat thing I learned from a Christian is shyness, right? If you're shy, or if kids tell you you're shy, and you teach them a lesson. Being shy you're the most rude, mean person of all. The shy person. So when someone says they're shy, and when you say it to a kid, you say it nicely, but when someone says they're shy, you say to them, that means you're incredibly mean. And I wouldn't say it to a kid, but you're incredibly mean, because what you're doing, if you're a shy person, is you're deciding when you walk into a room, you're deciding what everyone thinks of you. You're deciding that, not letting them tell you or how they act with you. You're deciding that everyone in that room or audience, what they think of you. And it's obviously something negative and bad. So you're making that person a negative or bad person before they even get a chance to interact with you. That's how mean a shy person is. So, and you know, if you can say that to a kid in a nice way, that says they're shy. So don't be shy. Just don't even care what people think of you. I mean, you know, be considerate, nice. But when you go into a room or when you need to speak or when, you know, I've put myself out there with this thing with For the Lord RPG. I put myself out there, and I'm like on YouTube. I'm pushing myself to do this, even as I'm being attacked or whatever. And I get, and not even that, like in the Christian community, I'm getting sort of not attacked, but, and I've actually had really great positive responses, but I'm getting a lot of the, you know, things fall off. People, you know, fall off or disappear or say no to me or think I'm weird or don't respond back. And that's just that's just, you know, I'm getting thick skin or whatever that is. I'm allowing that to happen and just whatever and move on. And sometimes I make mistakes too. Sometimes I will do the wrong thing or say the wrong thing, but whatever, you got to move on, and keep doing it. And so that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to the NRB. I'll probably get a lot of weird nods or, okay, that was interesting. Thank you. Or no's or go away or whatever. I don't care. I just need to get this out there. I need to let people know about this stuff. The RPG culture and what's going on. It's huge. And that's what you as a Christian need to start doing. Find out what you love to do, or do what you love, and Christianize it, and just start bringing it out, even amongst people that, you know, it's going to be hard, or you feel like you're shy or you're embarrassed or whatever. You just got to keep doing it and enjoy it, and know that when you go before God, you can tell him all these great things you've done. Or you can pull out your grace card and just say, hey, I just got this little grace card, which is what I'm planning on doing. But I'm doing this not because God needs me to do it. I'm not. God doesn't need me to do any of this. He doesn't need any of us for the Great Commission. He doesn't need us to do it. He doesn't need us to change the world. He doesn't need us to save America or whatever. Although I really am a hardcore political randy person. He doesn't need us to do it all. The Great Commission isn't for God. The Great Commission is for us, because he knows we want to serve him. We want to do something for him. We love him so much that I need to do something for the Lord. And so this is what I'm doing for the Lord. I hope that, I doesn't need to please him or do anything for him, but I hope that I help people, I guess, that are Christian. I'm really looking for the Christians too. I'm not necessarily going after pagans or anything. I'm trying to get Christians to realize the strength of their faith in this world and what the other option is. You know, that's the other option. It isn't what you think it is. You know. So anyway, that's my little what I'm doing. Going to NRB. Gonna go do it. Get a lot of no's. That's okay. And I'll pack up, come home, and probably, statistically speaking, I will probably shut down I'm not going to shut down the game. I'll shut down most of like my spending a ton of money on things like this, the NRB, and just go to the basic game and just playing some games on YouTube. That's probably what I'll be stuck doing. I'm hoping that I can sell some of these shows to Christian streaming services so I can pay actors and really try to up the ante every time I do a series, you know, with actors and production value, and turn it into shows for Christian streaming, for Christian entertainment. And hopefully, like, some people out there, some young Christian filmmakers will take these ideas of evangelism in a game or in a show. You know, think about, watch my shows and think like, couldn't this be a show, like a cartoon or a low budget funny, where they're actually planting churches, you know, going out evangelizing, confronting pagans and planting churches. Have you ever seen a Christian show like that? In the Dark Ages, in the Middle Ages, yet that's exactly what happened 99% of the time with the Christians out there. You know, they were evangelizing and planting churches, and we never see that in a show. That could be a show for the apocalypse setting, for the sci-fi setting. That can be a show in any setting where Christians are actually evangelizing, confronting the pagans and what they're freaking doing. The only show I can think of is End of the Spear. Tip of the Spear, End of the Spear, that show where they went down to South America and converted the natives, and that true story. That was amazing. So there's a documentary and a movie about it. End of the Spear, Tip of the Spear. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so yeah, that's the news for now. Hopefully I'll get back on focusing on the game stuff and then my pagan cult rants. I'll try to do less of those. I mean, not less, but just I don't want the whole channel to be about that. All right. Sorry. Well, not sorry. I just wanted to give you guys the news of what I'm doing and working on. And, you know, I'm almost done with, you know, this is a full notebook of notes of to-dos doing all this, trying to organize and get all this stuff done. And I have a new notebook now, so I have to transfer the last bits of notes on this new one and start a new notebook on what I got to do from day to day. All right. Thanks for listening. I hope this was just, you know, encouraging and giving you news of what I'm doing. And for the Lord RPG, try to share if you can. Let others know, hey, there's this role-playing game out there that's really cool. Please try to do that. I just need more. I guess I need more numbers to show the Christian streaming services, hey, this is important or viable or a real thing. And it's so important that I said it at the end of this video, this babbling video. So please try to share some of the videos or at least the game, or play it. The really important thing is play it with your family, friends, invite them over, try it out. Just try it out. You know, say, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if this is any good or not. Let's just try it out and see what y'all think. And I got to work on my GMing of this as well. You know, like you say that. Well, I'm still working on that too myself. Okay. And what's my final saying? And keep the faith. And in this game of life, roll holy dice.